Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to askNK. So the folks at D5 Render have released a brand new version of D5 Render. D5 Render version 2.10 now comes with a couple of interesting features that artists would love to work with. And this includes the real-time path tracing, which is currently in alpha. There's the night sky update that deals with moon, stars, Milky Way, and so on. They've also got some optimized terrain updates, as this now follows up with the terrain update that was done in D5 Render version 2.9. There's also the city generator, a couple of interesting assets, and the AI painting and motion blur. These alongside some language options are now available for those who like to work with D5 Render version 2.9. And for those who like to see this, or possibly you'd like to try it out, then you can simply go over to the link in the description and check it out. Now previously we talked about D5 Render version 2.9 and celebrated all of the cool updates that it did come with. And having version 2.10 come out a few months after version 2.9 is simply impressive. And this didn't just roll out with a couple of bug fixes, but then it did show up with a couple of cool and interesting new features. And with that said, let's dive right into it. So with D5 Render version 2.10 opened right here, we already have the material museum loaded in. One of the biggest updates has to do with the real-time path tracer, which is currently in alpha. Now, contrary to the previous renderer, which we currently have, you can now have your renders done in path tracer. Now, this is not as real-time is being said, which means you cannot move around your scene and have this render. This renders in a very interesting way. So if we simply turn on the real-time path tracing, you would notice we've got a bit of a difference. So this is what we have. And if we turn this on, you see this is what we have. Normally, you will possibly be expecting this to sort of, render everything in real time like it's advertised. But how this one works is a little bit different. This renders still images. And to get this going, if you simply press F4 on your keyboard, you can see it. And this does a thing called accumulating and does the path tracer rendering right on your viewport. So if you simply move your mouse around, this simply breaks. Now for settings, you need to go over to the display section, and right here is where you can set things up. So if we turn on the custom setting, we can choose to have maybe the GI set to 2. We can also choose to set the reflection depth set to 2, and I've actually gone ahead to set this to 256, which is like the maximum. And if you take a look at the render that we have right now versus the render which is done with the default renderer, you can tell that there is a difference. The real-time renderer, once you simply use it, it takes a bit of time to get the rendering happening, but you get a much more better result. If you simply have like a cutthroat deadline, you possibly would want to stick to the previous renderer as opposed to this other one, as it takes a bit more time to render. But if you're looking for a final picture and you need something that is super clean, has the right shadows where they are, then I believe the real-time renderer will definitely cut it for you. Another interesting update that we have here deals with the night sky. So the night sky now comes with a couple of cool stuff that you can work with. So what we have here is being lit by the HDRI. So you can actually go in, take a look at some of the HDRIs that exist and light your stuff. However, using the night sky makes things a little bit more interesting, as by default we have the HDRI and the Geo Sky. And now with the custom, there's a couple of things that we can do. So we can simply turn this off and then turn on the custom night. So once we turn on the custom night, we can simply locate our moon. By default, the moon should be somewhere around here. So we can locate the moon and we can simply move it around. And we can also go ahead and increase the disk size. So maybe we'd like that to be a little bit bigger. We can do that. And we can also play with the phasing. Another interesting thing that is also super possible here is the star intensity. If we like to have more stars in, we can actually go ahead and do that. And we can also play with the cloud. So we can turn this off if we want, we can turn this back on, and we can reduce the amount of cloud that we have. All of these are sort of procedural, so it's pretty interesting what you can get out of them. Now, if we go over to the fog, this is definitely going to be super useful for daytime. So if you like to have the fog for daytime, I'll suggest you go ahead and do that. Now we've also got precipitation. Now within the precipitation section, if we start increasing the strength of the rain, things starts happening. Actually, let's just double click to come back here so I can show you guys what we mean. So if we go over to the precipitation, and now we have this set to rain, if we start increasing the strength, you would notice that we start having some rain in. So we can, throw in as much as we want, and we can actually switch this from rain to snow. And you have that. Now, if we throw in that wind and we start increasing the strength of the wind, you notice we have a little bit of movement there. We can also increase the direction of the wind, and we can just simply move this backwards, move this forward, get some nice looking stuff. Something else which is also super interesting that you might want to explore is the Milky Way. So if we go back to our custom, I'm just going to turn this off, then we can turn the night sky back on. If we go all the way down, we can throw in that Milky Way. Now we can actually, increase that. I'm just going to turn off the cloud. I think that's a bit distracting. So we can see that, and I'm also going to turn off the precipitation. This is dependent on the kind of visual that you're going for. So you can have this, play with it, drop the intensity down if this is what you're going for. Overall, you do have something that is super interesting, and D5 Render simply delivers for the night sky as advertised. And very similar to Twinmotion, D5 Render version 2.10 now ships with a city generator, as this automatically uses the OpenStreetMap data to generate real-world models that you can use as standing models for your scene. And this allows users to not only generate these scenes, but at the same time, users can easily adjust the materials, the height, and also the overall transforms of these models, making it super easy for you to site your buildings or your designs using real-world scales and within a real-world map. This is definitely going to come in super handy, especially for those who are into architectural visualization, or possibly for those who are into town planning and would like to see what their building would look like against pre-existing buildings. The new version of D5 Render also comes with some updates to the terrain tool. We did mention that the terrain asset now allows you to bring in different kinds of terrains and mix them up to get some very incredible results. And shipping with the erosion mask now makes this super interesting. So with this, you can simply turn on the mask, and you can also play with the erosion level. So maybe you would like this to be a little bit higher, lower. You can go ahead and, have fun with this. You can also play with the erosion spread. So depending on what you want to do, you can now create some very nice looking effect on your terrain. And this is going to be super useful for environment artists and those who like to get some beautiful background for their render. And speaking about assets, which terrain is one of them, D5 Render version 2.10 now ships with a couple more assets, and this includes assets for hotels and resorts. So if you're thinking about getting any of these ones, then you can simply come through and check them out. We can actually go ahead and type in the word hotel, and press the enter button, and you would see that we've got a couple of these right here. D5 Render ships with post-processing upgrades which deals with AI painting, and this means that it can fill in missing elements like sky, vegetation, or water automatically, which would definitely reduce the time you spend fixing this yourself in post. More so, you can now add motion blur to any object in your scene, and this comes with a couple of controllable parameters which can allow you to dynamically change these things and add some nice looking effect. And these effects can also include taillight effects for vehicles and so on. The AI enhancer has also been optimized for improved text and logo sharpness. There is also a more refined artistic way of controlling several effects that include style transfers and so on in D5 Render. There's also a set of new scatter templates that now speeds up your vegetation placement modes, and this is definitely going to be super useful for a whole lot of use cases, as this is definitely going to help designers quickly populate their scenes with high quality vegetations and also assets, which will reduce the amount of time that you spend painting these things in. So this is it for those who like to take a look at this, or possibly you'd like to read up on some of the cool updates that are now available for D5 Render. Then you want to simply go over to the link in the description that'll bring you right here where you can check these things out for yourself. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.